You're speaking about a one-on-one, deliberate, and all those kinds of things seem too serious. And I'm wondering, I've heard a lot of people say, well, I'll have 2 or 3 or 5 girls I'm dating so that I know who. Or I have 5 guys I'm dating and I want to know who. Okay? Now, is that called you date one and hang out with the rest, or it's group dating? Is that also termed as group dating?
Let me just say this, that the healthy way to eliminate is to have lots of friends. Have lots of friends. Go out, go dancing, go to parties, go have coffee with lots of people, go for retreats and ministry and prayer, retreats, whatever, with lots of people, and see them in their element before the pressure of I could be the one comes in. Yeah. And while people are unsuspecting of anyone's interest, they show they deal their real hand. So you see them really for who they are. And once you've done that, you can easier eliminate who you can live with and who you can't. And that's not to say that the ones you don't take are not good. You can only have one person, so figure out who that person is. I recommend that be done, in the multitude of friends, before you zero in on 1 or 2 or 3. Dating 2 or 3 people. The truth is that dating has become so casual.
True.
It's no longer as we now have terms like courtship, where you're either dating or you're actually courting and therefore working towards marriage.
Serious now.
Yeah, and I don't know. I really don't believe in the whole there's such terms as exclusive dating. Yeah, so you have people that will, I'm going on dates and they can go out with so many different people and they're committing to none. And there's such things as friendly dates, where you just go out, have coffee with somebody, chat about this and that, and then go your separate ways. But when you start dating somebody consistently, any girl will tell you, once you go out with her once and then you ask her again and then you ask her another time, by the third time she's expecting that something is going to be said, or something, you're going to make yourself clear in some way. And it's impossible for you to do that if you're doing this with 3 other ladies. Yeah, if there are 3 ladies doing that with you, then by the 3rd date you're not yet ready to commit to one of them. And if you do commit to one of them, then at that point you've become a player, which is completely unkind, cruel, and ungodly. So
But you see, Monica, it happens in church.
I know it does. And isn't that sad?
Isn't
that sad? Because so many of
girls fight, men fight, because people are not clear.
It's unfortunate that fighting is happening, but I always say, when I have an opportunity to speak to young people, I always tell them, all this is rooted in not loving God enough. Because when you love God, then he teaches you to love his people. And once you love God's people and appreciate how he feels about them, there are certain things you'll not dare do, because God loves that lady, and he loves the second lady, and he loves the third lady, and he's watching you toy around with them and their emotions and their hearts, and he will not appreciate that. And unfortunately, it does come around, at some point you reap what you sow. So my hope is that believers will return to their first love, that they will remember to love God truly and deeply, and to allow him to teach them to love his people the way they deserve to be loved. Then we'll see less and less of these things happening, of people being played and making fools out of people. If you take 4 men. You know, I always have questions when somebody comes and says, I have 5 men that have proposed to me, and I have no idea who to choose. I'm like, how did you get 5 men to the point of proposing without any knowledge of the other person? It implies a lack of integrity. It implies an indecency. It implies a lack of faithfulness. And you know, if one of those men is God-fearing, you know, my prayer is always, may God show that person, because really, what are you doing in this drama? So I pray that God will touch our hearts and reduce the occurrence of that in His body. Yeah,
Sweetheart, there is something that came to mind. I mean, let me use an imagery here. Think of a cup. You want to take tea, then you put in coffee, then you put in chocolate, then you put in Milo, then you put, as in, by the time you mix all this up, you have no idea what you're taking. It is all mixed. You're not taking, you can't say you're taking coffee, you can't say you're taking chocolate. It's all jumbled up in there. And so, I mean, that's a simple picture, but that's the same thing. If I'm dating 5 people, every human being is an entity all on their own. And so when you're dating 5 or 3, you are mixing waters, as they would say. You let me tell you, even in marriage, just dealing with one person is complicated enough.
What does
I
that
love
mean?
my wife very much. Even dealing with one person is complicated to understand just one person. And so when you begin to go out with 2, 3, what you are actually doing is you are complicating your own circumstance, because now you're getting to learn to deal with this attitude, you're beginning to learn to deal with the other character, and you're dealing with it, and you are just, it is recipe for you. In fact, if anything, you are making your work more difficult. You're confusing yourself, because you have got to, I mean, I don't understand. If I were dating a lady, when I met my wife, by the grace of God, well, I was in Botswana and she was here. There were days I would get on the phone and I would spend 3-4 hours on the phone with this lady. Now think about this. If I was dating 3 ladies, that is how many hours? Say 3 times 3. That is 9 hours. It just
the whole day.
The whole day. It's impossible. You understand? But because I was focused on one person, I could give her my attention. I could give her my focus, and so she got to know me truly. Otherwise, I'll be all on a rush. Okay, hey, see you. Thank you. Bye. Oh, I just open a sneak. I just give a sneak peek of who I am to this one. A sneak, because I have got to impress all the 5, all the 3, or whatever number that is. So I think that dating, it is a good thing, but it can be very nasty if it's not done right.
I think we can't take God out of it.
Of course. Sorry.
That's it.
Yeah, I mean,
we can't. This isn't a process. Many Christians are willing to commit passing exams to God. They are willing to commit their bodies and healing, or desire for healing to God. They are willing to commit
financial needs.
Financial needs to God. Lord, this year I need a blessing. But they're not willing to commit their choice of how they spend their time with other fellow human beings to God. They're not willing to honor God in the way that they relate with other human beings. And that's not right. God is interested in every facet of our lives. So we can't take him out of the process. And if God gives you a go ahead, and you do it, you step forward reverently. You deal with this human being with all honor and with all reverence, because God takes this seriously. And if things are to end, you end them honorably, close the chapter, and move on to the next. chapter. You don't get to sample the buffet. I'll have a bit of chicken, I'll have a bit of meat, and I'll see which one I actually like best. There'll never be one person that has everything. So take your time, and
you don't just run away.
No, absolutely not. You don't text text your breakup. I no longer want. No, absolutely not.
I don't think this can work.
No, and when you depending on how serious the commitment is, it is honorable to justify your decision. It is
Sure.
honorable. I have honored you. I've given you time. I've given you attention. I've invested emotionally in you. The least you can do is justify why we are where we are at. Okay, and that's why so many human beings don't have closure, and then they keep going back to broken relationships because they don't know why they're ending, why they're mixed up. So it is right, it is wise, and it is honorable. If chapters are to close, then they should close well. I'm sorry, I cannot be with you, and that is if it has been serious. If you've gone out on a couple of dates and you don't want to go out anymore, then that is something simple. You say, well, he asks the fourth time, and you say, I'm unavailable, I'm sorry, I won't be able to make it. He asks the fifth time, and you say, you know what, I don't want to waste your time. I don't think I am what you need. I don't think this can go somewhere. That's after 5 dates. But if you've been dating somebody for 2 years and then suddenly you think your paths need to end, they cannot continue together, then the honorable thing to do is to have a serious conversation with them, and let them know, okay, this is I think that we need to stop right here, and this is the reason.
No in-laws.
I beg your pardon?
Yes, I'm serious. Probably you introduce them to your family.
Oh, right. Well, this is how I was raised, and these are completely personal views, but I'm slow on meeting in-laws, and I know that different families have different ways that they deal with these kinds of relationships. My husband comes from a family where the sooner that they meet whoever you're with, the better it is. They'd like to know as early as possible and interact with this person and make this person their friend, and incorporate them in the family, even as your intimate relationship grows. The friendship between your potential mate and his family should be growing as well, which is their way, and it's healthy if they can deal with the situation and its sensitivity. Where I come from, really, you don't take the man home unless there is very serious potential.
Good things.
And by the time he comes, he better have his lessons on straight. He better be organized.
Oh yeah, I know that. Been there, done that.
So we didn't just introduce anybody to our parents. And if you got introduced early, then you knew you were in the friend zone. If you came home and you were just, on a chill and you were relaxed, you knew you were in the friend zone. But if you meant something, you were hidden like a jewel, a precious jewel, until you were ripe and ready to meet the man of the house, and that took careful preparation. My husband used to treat his hair, he had to cut it all off and let it grow naturally before he came to meet my dad. So that's how it played out with us. So because of where I come from, I wouldn't have been comfortable meeting future in-laws before time. I would have been awkward. I would have misrepresented myself, and I wouldn't have known how to relate with them. Also because where I come from, dating is such a serious thing, marriage is such a serious thing, so if the relationship ended after all that, it was just, we didn't know how to deal. So that's just something that we didn't do. you met the family when the ball was rolling, you know. Where he comes from, you meet the family, you be friends, and if things end well, they've ended. But continue, you know, have healthy
Being friends,
relationships,
yeah.
be friends, and you know, maybe we are a little intense where I come from. We don't know how to, remain friends. But yeah, that was that.
There's something interesting here, sweetheart, that she's mentioned here is going back to where I began from about the issue of maturity. Now, it takes a mature person to understand that someone's background is different than yours. You know, if I were a young dude, I would, no, but why don't you come to see my parents? No, you should come sit down. And yet, in her background, that is a different story. I want to see your people. I want to come home. You know, okay.
You're hiding me. You don't want me to see your people. Are you ashamed of me? Is this serious? Is it going anywhere? You don't love me enough.
Have another man.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're taking a very, very short break. We're coming back with the questions. I think we now have a better understanding of dating the healthy way, right?
Right.
And when we come back, your questions on 0414 34 2020 or 753 104 104. On Facebook, you can type 104.1, leave a space, Power FM in your search engine, and you are on our page. Trinity 57 song is Love. .1 Power FM, Trinity 57 song is Love. It's what we're talking in the Love Week. We have a couple of people will be coming to talk to us, experienced people. I mean, people who have gone through these things. They're not just talking things about, not talking about things they've read or heard. They've gone through them. And they'll be talking to us all week long in this Love Week as we talk the what ifs. What if he doesn't choose me? She doesn't choose me after dating for 2 years or 5 years or 6 months or whatever. What if? How do I deal with that now? Those are questions that we're inviting now on 0414 34 2020 or 753 104 104. If you're on Facebook, you type 104.1, leave a space, Power FM in your search engine, and you're on our page. What if? What if? Now, you talked about the fact that dating should be deliberate. You should be mature enough to make a choice. It should be one-on-one, sort of. Now, before I go ahead, Power FM, good evening.
Hi, how are you?
I'm okay, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
Yes, who is this I'm talking to?
Asking what if, sorry, answering. We can ask you.
Please, what if?
What if you're feeling pressurized into marriage? Yes, you've known someone a very short period, 2 months, and you're feeling very pressurized, and you're not sure what if he's not the one. What if you don't really know him? Because it's such a short period of time. Yes, what do you do?
What's your name?
Julie.
Okay. Yes. Okay, Julie, thanks.
Okay.
Conversation that is all about love. What if 2 months? And speaking on Julie's, I've realized that it's easy for a man. Okay, I don't know, Rev J. It's easy for a man to like you, and they expect you to like them back. Like 2 months, 6 months. Well,
Yes.
He's interested. Well, you have to accept. Well, because I
Yeah.
don't know whether the society regards women as, okay, you should be saying yes, whether you love, whether you don't.
No,
Anyway,
hopefully not.
Julie's asking 2 months. Pressure. No pressure.
Oh dear. What I know is that serious men, when a man is mature and he's ready to settle down and he's deliberate about finding a wife, he's not playing around, he's not dilly-dallying, he's focused on, he has an agenda, he has a goal, he must find himself a wife. When he identifies her, you'll hear quite a number of married men say, the moment I met her, I knew she was going to be my wife, And many of them you'll find that the lady he was talking about is actually his wife. That being said, it's not healthy for a girl to go into a marriage under pressure. Yeah. Even if he has marked you and identified you and he's determined to make this work, you deserve your time to know him, to understand him, and to figure things out. Yeah. If you've been friends, dating, I mean, not dating, but, watching each other in a group, sometimes that makes a decision like that easier. But there is no world in which I, for example, would have dated somebody for 2 months and then gotten married. It's not there. Yeah. And I'm a romantic, I'm a serious romantic, and I am a believer in marriage. In fact, I spend a lot of my time doing things that are wedding related. So hey, I really love the idea of marriage, but I don't think that any woman should be put in a position where she settles down with somebody before knowing them adequately. And I don't think that 2 months is time enough for you to know this person. Human beings have been, the Bible says, who can understand the human heart? There's nothing else so deceitful. Human beings have been known to hide their real self for longer than way longer than 2 months. Somebody puts up an act for 2 years, they seem convincingly Christian, they seem convincingly kind, and they marry somebody and then they turn against them and the wolf comes out. So I mean, how much easier would it be for him to be Mr. Right within a period of 2 months? So if you have reservations, I mean, God works in mysterious ways, and we must always leave room for God. There are those people that will meet, and that's their destiny, to have these brief wild romances and then to just ride off into the air, into the sunset, whatever. But that isn't for all of us. In fact, those are one and very, very spread apart, and you must be clearly hearing from God for you to make a decision like that. But if you're not, if you have questions, if you're not sure, I would not recommend that you be pressured into marrying after 2 months. You are a grown woman. You are going to be somebody's wife, somebody's mother. You are in accepting to be his wife. You are accepting to be his friend forever. You are accepting to share his load forever. You are accepting responsibility for him and for his family, the one existing now, and for the family that you're going to make together. So that is such a load of responsibility for you to undertake, without you being sure that you want to do this. And that's why you find women at some point, running away or getting bored or feeling like they were tricked into, dangerous liaisons or whatever, Take your time. Take your time and know this person. And you can never know a person 100%.
Sure.
But that's where God comes in. When you've done your due diligence, and as far as you can see, you've done things right and you've figured your way out and you see nothing wrong. Leave room for God to say, go ahead or step out. This isn't healthy. Or, you're not safe here. Leave. And God will always come through. He does not disappoint.